All right, guys, we are back with more Changemakers. I'm here with someone that when I was asked to host this event, I thought about what it meant to be a changemaker. And I thought about the big things from the people that go out and make millions of dollars for their charity to the people that go into the neighborhoods and make a difference on their corners and in the houses and with the people around them. And I really thought about a gentleman by the name of Rich Todd. And I met Rich. I'll give you a little background. Rich is on the screen. Hello, Rich, by the way. How are you?
How you doing, Jim? I'm
I'm doing
good.
great, man. Doing great. I met Rich almost 18 years ago, and I was working with a retail company, and he came in and he said, I need to buy an air conditioner. And I said, okay. He goes, I'm looking for a window unit, and I find one. He goes, how big will this cooler? I can't remember the questions, but real simple questions. And then he said, okay, how many do you have? And I jokingly said, how many do you want? And he responded with, well, how many do you have? And I said, we have a lot. And he goes, well, I need a lot. And it turns out that he was buying air conditioners for elderly people that didn't have air conditioners and were in danger. And he told me a story at the time behind it, which honestly, I don't remember the story of why he was doing it, but I remember the gesture. And he came back year after year and did that. And now he's doing a ton of stuff that we'll get into in just a little bit. But Rich, I just wanted to say, man, that is a definition of change maker for me, somebody that makes a difference in the lives of others for no reason other than to make the difference. And I'm so glad you were able to be here and we were able to connect. And you want to share with everybody who you are? What I mean, they know your name, but what you do and how you got involved with this type of work?
Yeah. Well, again, my name's Rich Todd. I grew up poor, and I've been a union painter for 30 years now, and I travel a lot. So when I say I grew up poor, I mean I grew up poor, and every year, for a long time, I get my kids, and I actually buy turkeys and stuff in the wintertime, and I pass those out to people that are in need. Because I just want my kids to understand what it's like to give to people who don't have. So I've done that, and like I said, with air conditioners, I've helped out people there. And then I go on this next door app we have, and there's usually people on there looking for stuff that needs done. It could be minor, like hanging a porch swing, to installing a new downspout, or anything I could help with their house, or moving something. Elderly couple needing help moving something. I just respond because most people, for some reason, don't want to respond and do anything, go out of their way. They're too busy. Well, I just make time for it because, again, if I needed help or my wife needed help, I wish somebody would be there to help them out. But I don't know. I've just been like that for a long time, and I don't know, my heart's bigger than my sense, I guess. I don't know.
That's it. You know what I found in these interviews that I'm doing and have done is, it's everybody's so humble, but I mean, I think the impact that you make, Rich, is pretty huge. And when you say things like that, it reminds me of the impact that you're having on your own children and how that will continue to, I guess, breed a different lesson generationally. A lot of times you'll see that kids that grow up with things forget that there's others that grow up without things, and you seem committed to making sure that message doesn't get lost, I guess. So can you give me an example of one of the stories of somebody you helped out with? I know you explained some specific things, but why were you doing the air conditioners? There was something there or some fear that you had or something you heard. I don't remember the story, but how'd you get started with the air conditioners?
Well, I guess looking back, I mean, my memory's not great, but I mean, I've known there was older people. I've heard of people dying, because or nobody's checking on the elderly. So I started doing it myself and reaching out to people, and that's how I started doing it. I just started looking into it. I mean, it intrigued me to know that that not everybody's got somebody. Usually you'd think, well, everybody's got somebody, but they don't. People die off for some reason, or so there's a lot of lonely people out there. And like I said, I just look in the wintertime. Here's prime example. Just winter times, like I'll go around to my elderly neighbors and I'll plow their driveways for them. because I just know they're elderly. They don't need to be out there on the ice, you know. So I do that. So like I said, it's just little things that make me want to go do things, and I just go do it because ultimately all it's costing me is my time.
That's amazing. So, Rich, a lot of people might think, well, I'll wait to get started. I'll wait to do something. I'll wait to help out. What would you say to those that hear your story and they're inspired to go do something? What words of advice or encouragement or suggestions do you have for those people that are trying to follow in your footsteps here?
I would just say, like for me, myself, I always try to live with integrity, you know. I mean, and I always, you know, the thing about integrity is doing the right thing. No one else is looking. You know, I don't need nobody to brag on me. I don't need, you know, we talked about whatever. I don't tell nobody about it. Everything I do, I just do because it's the right thing to do, you know, and that's what I do. And I think if people do that, people help them out, it would make them feel a lot better with themselves and everything they do.
Yeah. Well, Rich, this whole event for me was about telling the stories that needed to be told. And with so much craziness going on in the world, I'm honored to know you, man. I'm so glad you're doing what you're doing. And I know you've impacted a lot of people. Thank you for being on here with us today.
I appreciate it, Jim. Good talking to you again.
Good talking with you. All right, guys, we're going to be back with more Changemakers here in the next couple minutes. Stay tuned for more.